Hi folks, this is Mike. Just running through a couple of the items on Volvo 5-cylinder vehicles that can cause you a lot of headaches with diagnosis. I'm primarily going to look into ETM, fault tracing, and also just some other things that can help you get into another ETM or help you to diagnose other problems on your engine which may surface. So I'm just going to run in, we've got diagnostic system Vida here running. I'm just going to, well, I can read my vehicle, I can select my vehicle from the history. So I've just selected it from the history. Click OK, and we don't seem to have communication because I haven't got. Let's have a look. Go into diagnostics. No, haven't got communication. Do we or don't we? Let's see. Oh yes, we do. Okay. So unless we fitted any new models, any new modules, we don't need to update the. Well, you can update it if you wanted to get some new kilometre or mileage readings and things like that from the CM, but in this case we don't. So we're just going to go up to. Sorry about the glare here. We do have a bit of glare in the. It could be a bit better. So we're going to go to vehicle communication. We're going to go to ECM icon. We're going to double click here, and we're just going to bring up a reported throttle angle. So at the moment our throttle angle is around about 2%. It's idling, so it's quite low. And then we're going to go to ETM, and we're going to pull up throttle position 1 and throttle position 2. So double click on each of those and they'll add themselves into the mix. Now you'll see I've got reasonably uniform sensor 1 and sensor 2. Just going to rev the motor a bit. Okay, it does appear to me that at low throttle one of the sensors isn't responding well. So I'm going to turn the engine off and turn ignition back on, and then I'm going to go to advanced on the ETM. Then I'm going to double click ETM and then ETM test. Now this is where it reports whether you can do an ETM test. If the light is green, you have software that will allow the ETM test, and this software was written after 2006 or released in 2006. You click on the ETM test icon. Now to perform the ETM test there's a start button here, but however you have to turn ignition off and back on to restart the ETM because it is currently in a sleep state. So off, back onto position 2, and within the 8-second sleep mode we're going to get a test occurring. Now I don't know if you can see that, I'm already getting a max difference of 41. So I've been feeling this while driving the car. It feels like there's a headwind against the car. I think I've also got a camshaft control issue with this car. I'm getting ECM 644A, so this is, yeah, really this is a film problem. So my films are worn in this vehicle, and I can either do one of two things. I can get another ETM with some good films and put them in, or I can move forward to a contactless, which I can DIY, or we can get a rebuilt one from Volvo. So this is not good. 77%. I mean, the difference should be at the most 2% on a non-contactless ETM. So we've got, yeah, quite a big difference. So we'll cancel the test. Close it up here on the, whoops, close it up here on the corner. And then we're going to look at our network situation. Look at the ETM network values. Now I've got updated software, so you can see the two software numbers are 9207849 and 3078510. These are the two software numbers that will determine your engine type, transmission, and matching to the car. These are not unique to your VIN. These are unique to the level of firmware fitted to the ECM. The ECM is your engine control module. So this particular firmware level suits a certain firmware level on the ECM. If you walked into a Volvo dealer with a 2001 turbo car and asked for a firmware update to your ETM, that's the level of programming they would give you. This is the current level. So we've done the test. We're going to have a look at a fault trace now on the car. And we're going to go to delivery. Now, I've got quite a few things going on with this car, but I've had some ABS issues. The ABS module needs to be rebuilt. I've got apparently a power seat problem, apparently an ETM problem with communication. Not too convinced that there is an issue with the circuit board on this ETM, because I haven't had any breakdowns and I haven't had any real issues with it. Try and focus on those. So I've got lots of stuff going on with the ABS. I do have let's see. Yeah, I've got a 91A7 throttle position faulty control. It's a very broad code. It doesn't really narrow things down, and even when I was doing the sweep test, I think it was the green, which is sensor 2, might have to go back and do it, but it's not reporting ECM 9150 or ECM 9160, which is either a sensor 1 or sensor 2 fault. Because we've got late firmware, this diagnostic system in this car won't pull up ETM codes. I've obviously got a faulty ETM, and this is basically a result of Volvo's very clever programming, so people would not bring their car in during the warranty period. There was a warranty period that was applicable in the US, in North America, which went from 0 to 200,000 miles and within a 10-year period. Obviously that's, for most owners, that's already passed, and it was either or, whichever occurs first. So even if you'd only done 50,000 miles and your car was more than 10 years old, you didn't qualify for the warranty on the throttle module. And they were quite expensive. They were well over $1,200 when they were first replaced at the dealers. So we've got a faulty ETM here. You can see the sweep test did not perform well, yet what have we got? A very broad throttle position signal of fault. I'm going to erase all of these. Okay. Click OK. It's probably going to pull up some power seat ones. I did change the power seat module. It seems to work fine. It seems to think I have got a ETM communication issue. I don't believe there is an issue with communication, but all right. So vehicle communication. Let's do the ETM test one more time so I can work out which sensor is the faulty one. Ignition off, ignition back on, start the test. It's already gone to 76%. And blue. Blue is the on the time versus throttle angle test there. You can see the blue is not keeping up with the green. So blue is, let's see, signal 1. Sensor signal 1. Signal 1 is the back side of the ETM. So it's the one that the motor is situated on. It's not the front one, it's the rear one, and they're hard to get to. There's 5 pins to take off. You've got the motor wires to disconnect, and yeah. Not good. Okay, I'll stop the test. I've done network. Let's do another fault trace. Wow, I'm not pressing the accelerator, but sometimes just after doing a fault code reset, this is what will happen. This vehicle has a new MAF and a new oxygen sensor. Yeah. That's not good, actually. That's funny, this is the worst it's ever been. Okay. So it looks like the ETM has to come out and have a new, a good used film fitted. Let's just do another fault trace, read all. See if anything new comes up. What do we got? Again, we got communication with ETM. Power seat. Fuel level sensor. Yep, pretty normal. Accelerator pedal position, faulty signal. You know what? A lot of these codes are generic codes which will throw your diagnosis off. I definitely have a faulty throttle, yet this is very generic information. Accelerator pedal position, that wasn't even coming up before. So yeah, need to get a new throttle in here. And you can see that Volvo's very clever programming has masked the ability of the ECM to report throttle codes properly. It just won't. So Volvo owners, yeah, I don't know if it's a good idea getting new firmware fitted. It will allow you to do a sweep test. Eventually you may not have a choice, but if you get a new throttle and take your car to the dealer, they're probably going to update your CAN bus anyway and put the latest ECM and ETM firmware versions in, and then you'll be left with a vehicle that is unable to diagnose itself properly, even using the proper Volvo diagnostic software. Very disheartening for owners. Just going back to the throttle position, looks okay. Now it was sensor 1 was the problem. Okay, so just widen it out. Sensor 1 is the issue. Oh, did you see that? Yeah, it just shot up to 108. I don't know if you can spot that, but as yeah, it's just popping up to 108. Now 108 means that either there's a really big section on the film that is unreadable, so it goes to 108, or the circuit board on the ETM is unable to process the signal. Now, I don't think that's the case. I think there's a large swept area of the film that has worn out, and it's usually in the first 30% of the film at low throttle angle. So if we have a look, just gonna yeah, and I think another symptom of having a faulty throttle is I'm going to press, the car's in park, I'm going to press the accelerator to the maximum. It only goes to 4,000. Now it should redline, and it can't redline. So that's another symptom. Anyway, folks, I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. Thank you.